In this lesson, I want to cover a tool that is, well, it's not actually much of a tool, I guess, technically, but it's the hue, saturation, luminosity, tonal correction, if you want to be technical about it. But I really use it a lot like a tool. And so I want to show you guys quickly how it works. So first I'm going to select this little blue dot that I have here. Now there's a couple of ways to find this. You can go up to Edit and Tonal Correction and Hue, Saturation, Luminosity. Or I have a keyboard shortcut set to Control or Command H, and that will open it up. Again, if you want to set your own, refer to the lesson on the keyboard shortcuts for that. So here's how this works. There are three sections: hue, saturation, luminosity. As you slide it across, it's sort of like swinging around the color wheel. So you can see it's changing from the original blue into more purple, into more magenta, into red, into yellow, and all the way across. And it will go basically all the way around the color wheel to the opposite side, all the way to yellow. Now, starting in the middle again and swinging the other direction, you'll get into more teals and greens and all the way down, actually into the same color on the other side. So you can think of this as swinging from here to here and then back from here to here. So it's just swinging us around the color wheel. Saturation does just what it says it does. If you move it to the left, it's just like moving to the left on the color wheel. We're desaturating the color all the way to gray. Or you can pull it all the way to the right and you'll get the most saturated version possible. And then the last one, luminosity or brightness, moving it to the left makes it darker, or going down on the color wheel, moving it to the right increases the brightness all the way to white. Now, not everyone thinks about colors in these terms, especially if you're like me and you've done a lot more digital painting than real painting. I do tend to think in terms of the way the colors are laid out in the color wheel. So for me, this window makes sense for my process. Not everyone thinks about color this way. You might prefer to go into the color picker and visually see it, but for me, it kind of matches my thought process and how I think about color. One more tonal correction I want to talk about is a levels adjustment. Now this is found under Edit, Tonal Correction, Level Correction. I've got mine set to Control D. You don't necessarily have to, but that's what I've got mine set to because I tend to use this at the end of an image, and that's why you guys are seeing this on a page that's already done. Now I'm actually satisfied with how this page looks. This is the version that was sent to the printer. Here's how level correction works. There's three sections here. The left side, as you pull toward the right, will darken the darkest areas of the image. It'll darken everything to an extent, but it's going to darken the dark parts more. You can see that especially like if you notice this bright area on his head. You can see it's not changing quite as much as the rest of his skin is as I pull this in here, right? The left side, by default, is all the way to the right, but as you pull it to the left, it will brighten the brighter parts of the image. And the middle, you can think of it as sort of a contrast adjustment overall. So if you pull it to the right, it'll tend to add more contrast. If you pull it to the left, it'll tend to remove contrast. Now each channel can also be adjusted separately. So if I want to switch to red here, because by default it goes to RGB, but if I go to red, I can increase the brightness on just the reds, or I can increase the darkness on just the reds. Not a lot of red in this image, so it's not making much of a difference here. Green. Again, you can see it really changes it pretty dramatically because there's a lot of green in this image. It's actually pulling it toward purple. And then you've got the blues, and there's a good bit of blue in this too, so you would see the difference here. Then you have output at the bottom. This left side, when you pull it in, it's actually just limiting how dark the entire image can get. So when it's all the way over to the left, you're going to get, deep blacks, but if I move it in, it's going to start lightening this to where it's only going to get as dark as what I've marked here. It's not something I use very much, but if I get to the end of an image and I realize that, overall I think there might be some sections that are a little too dark, pulling this in to the right will sometimes help with that. And by the same token, if something is too bright, pulling this in will limit how bright the image can get. So it's basically a way to limit the dynamic range of your image. And the closer these are together, the more it's going to lose contrast in the image. Now, one other tip for using this. If you have a layer and you open up this levels adjustment and make corrections and click OK, they are forever baked in. Unless you immediately click undo, It's going to stay there regardless of what else you do. There's no way to undo it after you've moved forward and saved the image. So the way that I prefer to use this is with an adjustment layer or with a correction layer. Now I will cover adjustment layers or correction layers in a lesson toward the end, but if I right click this and go to new correction layer and then level correction, I get the same thing. I get the exact same options I did before, but when I click OK, you can see that this is only on a separate layer and it's affecting everything below it. So a lot of times if I want to just affect the colors of something and not the line art, I will actually put this in between the inks and the colors. You can turn this off and on. It's easy to adjust. You can adjust the opacity of the effect so it's not as strong necessarily. There's lots of options you get, and again, I'll cover some of that more when we get to that section of the course. These do include a mask as well, and again, I'll cover mask later, but this is a way to limit where that effect is. So if I wanted to go in and have it not affect this particular layer, I can adjust that with a mask, and I'll cover mask later on in the course.